So welcome everyone to the second installment of the Litecoin Lightning Series. For those of you watching on YouTube, know that you can join us on the Hub platform for future events. So you can network, get rewards, and be a part of the Q&A process at the end. We'll put more info in the description. So let us know again in the chat box where you're signing in from. There's also a Q&A tab at the bottom where you can ask questions. So feel free anytime to ask questions and we'll field those at the end. If you missed our last Lightning series, we announced the Litecoin Visa card. You can check out that video and our other speakers on our YouTube channel. So let's get straight to it. I would like to introduce our moderator for today's Lightning series, the head of partnerships at Celsius, Leah Jonas. And she's just going to unmute herself and we will begin.
My apologies, guys. Thanks so much, Jay. And thank you so much to the entire Litecoin Foundation for putting on such a wonderful event. As Jay said, I am the head of partnerships at Celsius, and I'm very excited to be your moderator today. Now, without further ado, to kick off the event, I would like to hand things over to Charlie Lee, the founder and the managing director of the Litecoin Foundation. Over to you, Charlie.
Hey everyone. So welcome to the second episode of the Lightning series. So we got a ton of positive feedback from the first event last month, and we found this to be a really good way for the Litecoin Foundation to connect with the Litecoin community and to share everything that's going on with the Litecoin space. So for this event, I'm excited to share the stage with Ed Cooper, head of crypto for Revolut, Alex Mashinsky, CEO of Celsius Network, and Simon Yu, CEO of StormX. But to kick things off, I'd like to announce the launch of a really fun project. It's a video game that runs on top of the Litecoin blockchain. The game is called Lightbringer. Some of you may have heard of it and maybe even played the beta while it's running on the Litecoin testnet. But now it's actually running on the Litecoin mainnet. And it's the first major game that utilizes the Litecoin blockchain for all of its interactions. So to go more into details, I'd like to welcome to stage Stefan Vogler, CEO and co-founder of Zipsoft, the creator of Lightbringer.
Okay, thank you, Charlie, for introducing me. Hello, everyone. Thanks for inviting me to the Lightning series. I'm really happy to be here and have the chance to talk about our latest project. My name is Stefan Vogler, and I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Zipsoft. So I've brought some slides with me, which I want to share with you. Let me see. Okay, I hope you can see them. So that's us. Zipsoft is around for quite some time. The company was founded almost 20 years ago, and we're based in Regensburg, a beautiful small town in the southern part of Germany. And these days we have almost 100 employees here at Zipsoft. Zipsoft develops and runs online games. I'm talking about classic online games, not blockchain games. Our oldest and most successful title is called Tibia, and Tibia is one of the first 2D online role-playing games in the world. It's online for more than 20 years now and still very successful. It has 250,000 active users and has generated more than $100 million revenue in its lifetime. So we're very proud of this game and we are very happy that it's still doing so good. In 2003, we released also a mobile version of Tibia called TibiaMe. It holds the Guinness World Record for being the first mobile online RPG, and it's all still online and also very popular. So we have quite some experience with online gaming, and we have a very good understanding of virtual assets and their value for our players. There has always been a quite big black market for virtual assets in our games. And blockchain tech allows us for the first time to turn these black markets into legal markets. So for the last couple of years, we've been working on a new game. And like Charlie said, it's called Lightbringer, written with L-I-T-E, of course. And in Lightbringer, everything you gain has true value, and that's because you can trade everything that you own. So, without further ado, here's Lightbringer.
I am more than just a swordsman. I explore the lands of Acerania, from busy markets to uncharted ruins. I am a pioneer, going where no one has gone before. Every successful quest brings riches. Every defeated enemy brings power, as I rise up to become a mighty knight. I am a slayer of monsters, defeated stronger and stronger foes. I live to face down my enemies. I live to raid. I am a collector, hunting all the rarest weapons and armor. There's always better loot to find. There's always a better deal to be made. I am a trader, buying and selling everything I want. I'm like no one else you've ever met before. I am a Lightbringer.
Okay, guys, so that's the trailer to the game. And here's also a screenshot from the game that, for example, is the character creation. So you have characters which you can create and send on quests. So that's one thing. And here's another screenshot where you can see the depot where you have all your belongings and your collectibles, and you can choose what to do with them. So, yeah, I'm happy to announce that we have officially released Lightbringer today. We launched it today. And so feel free to visit lightbringer.com and start playing today. Like our game Tibia, Lightbringer is one of the first of its kind. It's the first true Litecoin game. At its core, it's a combination of a role-playing and an idle game. But more important, it's also a complex collecting and trading game. The game is fully decentralized, which is quite special, I think. There are no necessary game servers. All weapons, resources, and even characters are stored directly on the blockchain. So players have true ownership over their belongings. And every move in the game is a transaction on the Litecoin blockchain that creates value. So if you're a good player, Lightbringer will live up to its name and may bring you some Litecoins. The game is only available on the Litecoin blockchain. And even though we are all fans of Litecoin, of course, one might ask, why Litecoin? Why not Bitcoin or Ethereum? Well, the first reason to that is that Litecoin is very popular and widely used. And it's easy to find on an exchange to get some Litecoins. It's very easy. And the second reason, which is even more important, is that it has very low transaction fees. So that's important because, as I said, every move in the game is a transaction and it will cost you Litecoin, even though it's very, very few. And with Litecoin, one transaction costs less than a penny, less than a cent. And the second reason, or the last reason, is, of course, there are no other games. So Lightbringer is the first Litecoin game, and so we're the first and best Litecoin-based game. So yeah, and I'm already at the last slide. The last thing I want to tell you about is how we optimized the onboarding for the game. Since Lightbringer is fully decentralized, all players basically have to run a Litecoin node in order to play. This can be quite demanding for the player hardware and lead to very long loading times. So therefore, we implemented a few optional services for the game to speed things up. It's important to know that these services are not necessary for the game to function, and you can actually turn them off if you don't mind the long loading times. And needless to say, private keys are never transmitted, so it's absolutely secure and decentralized. So what are these services that we've implemented? First, there's a pre-calculated game state service. So after installing the game, it will download a recent game state, and only the latest transactions have to be processed. And the second important service is there's a balance tracker, which is like an Electrum server. So every node will immediately know how many Litecoins everyone has. And these two features will decrease the loading times a lot, and it only takes a few minutes to start the game up. And the third and last thing which we have implemented is quite special. For the next days, there's a Litecoin faucet for new players. So we expect quite a few players to come to the game without having any Litecoins, or who don't want to transfer some Litecoins in the beginning. So if you start playing, there's a chance that we will give you a few lights to get you started. So you can play for a while without transferring Litecoins. So sign up as soon as possible if you want to start playing for free. So, okay, yeah, that was a short introduction to Lightbringer. The game is out now. Feel free to download the client on lightbringer.com and start playing today. Once again, thank you for the invitation and enjoy the rest of the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stefan. That was amazing. I know what I'll be doing for the rest of my quarantine now. So I really appreciate you giving that to us. Just as a quick question, as the first game on Litecoin's blockchain, how do you see this contributing to Litecoin's growth and adoption long term?
Yeah, I think that, like I said, that blockchain technology has huge potential for online gaming in general. And I think there will be games for every popular blockchain sooner or later out there. And since Litecoin didn't have a game until now, we thought it's a good idea to make something based on Litecoin. Also, we started quite early with the development, and at that time, like Ethereum was in its infancy, so we started development for Litecoin at that time. So yeah. Well, I think blockchain technology will be huge in online games sooner or later.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. Well, you guys heard it here. Go download it, and now you have something productive to do with your free time while you're stuck at home. So next up, we have a very special speaker coming to us from across the pond. It's my pleasure to welcome Ed Cooper, head of crypto for Revolut, who will be speaking to us today about Litecoin activation in the US. Over to you, Ed.
Hey, everybody. Nice to meet you all. So yeah, Ed Cooper, head of Revolut, head of crypto at Revolut. My apologies. And yeah, apologies for the lack of professional looking background. Sadly, WebZoom does not support it. So I guess what I'll do, I'll explain a little bit what Revolut actually is to give some context. And I'll explain the history of why we got into crypto and the crypto part of the product. And then I'll give a sneak peek into what we got cooking in our crypto kitchen. So let me just share my screen. Okay, cool. So what is Revolut? So there is some stats there, but it's probably easier if I just explain it. So Revolut is essentially an all-you-can-eat full-stack financial platform that allows you to do whatever you want with your money. But to put that in terms of products people are more familiar with, I guess if you imagine you've got Chime for your banking, Venmo for sending and requesting money to your friends, Robinhood for stock trading, and potentially Coinbase for crypto. If you wrapped all of that into one app, plus a bunch of other stuff, that's essentially what we've been building with Revolut. So we've been live for 5 years now in Europe, and we've got about 13 million customers. And we launched earlier this year in the US, and we've actually, just a couple of weeks ago, launched support for Litecoin. So the approach we want to take with Revolut was basically anything that you can think of in finance. If we think we can make it either 10 times faster, cheaper, better, or easier, we wanted to do it. So we started off, I guess our approach is a bit buzzy, but we always say we wanted to be the Amazon of finance. But what we really mean by that is, if you look at early interviews with Jeff Bezos, even in the early days when they were just selling books online, he was always talking about how he wanted to sell everything with a capital A, but obviously he started with books. So we took the same approach. We wanted to do everything like in finance, including crypto, but we had to start with our niche. So our books essentially in this case was improving people's experience when they went traveling with their money. So traditionally, if you went traveling with your money, you charged a bunch of extra hidden fees by your bank, not only in kind of like a non-USD or sterling transaction fees, but also they bake a ton of other stuff into the spread. So that was the first thing. So with Revolut, you get basically a card that you can spend anywhere in the world, just a Visa or MasterCard. and it's linked to a bunch of accounts on Revolut. And so that was the thing we were first solving. So when I first tried out Revolut, when I first started the company 5 years ago, I took my girlfriend on on holiday to a trip to Poland to try out Revolut. That was the only reason, of course. And so instead of doing what I normally do, which I'd be exchanging my pounds to Polish zloty at the airport, probably taking a 10% haircut there, paying loads of extra fees. I actually just used the app to dial up a Polish zloty account. So that was sat in there with my pound account. And then I did the exchange in the app. So I already had Polish zloty before I went there, and that happened at the interbank exchange rate, right? So best exchange rate you can get anywhere in the world, not charged any extra fees. So when I landed in Poland, I just took my Revolut card to the ATM or to the grocery or to a restaurant. I was spending literally from a Polish zloty account. So it's like I had like a local account in Poland without actually having to open a bank account in Poland. So that was like the initial thing we did. And then we added sending and requesting money, a bit like Venmo. So just to show some of the other stuff we got here. So if you look at the left-hand slide, that's kind of like if you tap on accounts, you can see the different accounts. This person's got a pound account, a dollar account, a yen account. You can also obviously add another kind of 27 different fiat accounts. You can add 6 crypto accounts, including Litecoin. You can also actually add a gold and silver account. So it's pretty cool. And you can actually spend with that card in other unsupported currencies as well. So if you go to Thailand, even if we don't right now support Thai baht as a holding currency, as we call it in the app, when you spend, it'll work out that you're trying to spend in Thai baht. So you'll still get the interbank rate, and it's pretty cool. Any of those currencies, you can go between them using our exchange screen. So that's the middle screen here. So if you want to exchange Bitcoin to Ether, that's fine. Litecoin to silver, you can do that in Revolut as well. So basically any of the currencies we support any cross as well. So any fiat currency, any of the cryptos we support, done. And then the final thing I've got here, I mean, there's a ton of other stuff you can do, but this is a linked account. So you can essentially link your existing bank accounts, like import them all into Revolut so you can see your balance, see your transactions, and then that can all be fed into our analytics engine for you. So if you click the little graph at the top, it will show you like projected spend where you may be spending a bit too much money, help you with budgeting, stuff like that. So talking about like spending tools, we've got this thing called Vaults, which allows you to, again, spin up very quickly or delete savings accounts. And again, you can do that in any currency. So if you want to have a Litecoin savings account, you just fire that up. And then you can fund it with like a number of different cool ways. So you can do like a one-off funding from your dollar account, for example, or you can do Acorn style, right? So you could turn on spare change roundup, which you can see here on the right. That means if you go out and you spend like $3.50, what we would do is we would round up to the nearest dollar. So we'd take that 50 cents and then we'd put it into your vault and do the exchange for you. So if you want to be stacking up Litecoins as you're spending like dollars on like whatever, pizza, coffee, done. You just turn that on and off you go. And you can do a multiplier as well. So you can have anything from like 2x to 10x. So we've actually got some 10x legends on Revolut who are actually like every time they spend like 50 cents, they save $5 in Litecoin, which is pretty cool as well. So then to jump into a little bit more details on the crypto side. Yeah, as I said, you go to the wealth tab in Revolut. We currently support 6 crypto, recently just launched Litecoin literally a couple of weeks ago onto the platform. And as I said, you can go between any of the other fiat currencies we support. Also, we got commodities, gold and silver, more coming soon, more cryptos coming soon. And also we got stocks as well. So we got currently about 800 stocks that you can invest in. There's fractional investing as well. They're US stocks, European stocks coming soon. And as I said, gold to Bitcoin, silver to Litecoin, that you can do that all directly in the app. Shortly, you will actually be able to go from stocks into crypto, stocks into commodities as well. So if you want to sell Tesla and buy some Litecoin, keep an eye out. That's coming soon. And then I guess the other thing to talk about is, so the Revolut card itself, we support like physical cards, Visa and MasterCard, and also virtual cards. So they can just live in the app and you can add them to Google Pay, Apple Pay, stuff like that. And we also have disposable virtual. So those are kind of like a one-use card. And after you've used it, it essentially the number self-destructs. So no one else can kind of use it after that. So that's useful for a site that if you're not sure it's trustworthy or whatever, you can do that. And in fact, I had experience of that. I was on holiday and I wanted to take this boat trip and I didn't have cash and the guy didn't have a card machine. So he takes me into his office and he puts me on the phone to this guy and he's like, oh, just give me your card details. So that felt super sketchy, but I was able to obviously just fire out Revolut, got a disposable virtual, gave him those details. So he put through the transaction. I got to confirm it, so I could see, yes, he's paying for the boat. That's fine. And then after that, the number just self-destructs. So it kind of sorts that out. So what are we launching this week is actually today, a new feature. So if you check out Revolut in the App Store, this will be available in an hour or so. It's recurring buys for crypto. So this enables you to like buy Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ripple, ETH, whatever, on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis.
We can't see it on the screen. So if you want to move it over a little bit, just so everybody can
see it.
Yeah, just move it over slightly to the left.
To the
We
left.
don't want anybody to miss anything, you know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for that.
A little bit more.
So that is, yeah. Can you see that now?
Yeah, just about 6 inches to the left. Okay,
cool. So yeah, that is literally launching as we speak, world exclusive. So why did we get back into crypto? So in 2015, when I joined the company, like we were really small. It was like a 6-person company, and a few of us early ones at Revolut, we were already into crypto probably since about 2013. And so yeah, back in 2013, like getting into crypto, it was a bit of a hassle. Like I would just be sending, money to strangers on the internet and hoping I would be receiving crypto in return. It got so bad actually that my bank phoned me up and said, like, who are all these people? Why are you sending the money? Yeah, so definitely pro tip, don't say that you're spending it on magic internet money, because it doesn't go down well with a bank. And also I used to use this virtual currency website, Verwox, and I used to buy Second Life tokens because that was the only way you could then buy crypto after that. So it all felt super sketchy. So the reason we added crypto to Revolut was we wanted to make it easy, safe, and also like have it integrated into just like your normal banking application. So it was super annoying for me that I kept having to explain to my bank what I was doing. I always felt a little bit guilty. So we wanted to create Revolut as your main bank account, but it's got all the cool crypto stuff that you want to do like sat right next to it, and then have this kind of like seamless integration. So if you want to go out spending and then save into Litecoin or whatever, you can just do that. So essentially, yeah, that's what we put together. And so I guess we can talk about what is next. So recurring buys, that's released today. Shortly, we're reintroducing being able to spend crypto with your card. So it's something we had in Europe for ages, but just the design of the app meant it wasn't super obvious what was going on, and people were spending their crypto balance by mistake. But in a couple of weeks, you'll soon be able to basically, any of your cards in Revolut, you'll be able to toggle off or on, completely customizable, any of the currencies that you want to spend from. So if you want to have a crypto only card where it's like Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ether, you could just configure that, and then it'll just go and spend the largest balance first. If you want to have a Litecoin only card, you can literally just customize it. It's Visa, MasterCard, spend it anywhere. It's going to be pretty awesome. And then the other thing we'll be doing is adding more cryptos. Will allow you to, so in Revolut, you can currently earn interest on your dollar savings, stuff like that. So we'll allow you to do that in your crypto as well. We'll add stablecoin support for that, and also introducing staking. So I guess that's Revolut in a nutshell. It's Revolut crypto also in a nutshell. Yeah, we'd just like to say really happy that we've had the chance to do some things, help out crypto to get it, towards mainstream adoption. Same for Litecoin. And yeah, thanks very much for having me on the show.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Ed, for joining us. And I know that since we had some visual issues, we'll see if we can and send that out afterwards. It sounds like Revolut's really leading the pack in terms of the digital asset industry. Do you have any thoughts on kind of how your peers will keep up with you, or how they'll kind of face this new age of digital assets?
Oh, I mean, to be honest, we feel like we're behind, I think, on the crypto side. I think we're still trying to catch up. Part of that is because obviously we're kind of juggling traditional finance with crypto as well. So I think probably we're a little bit ahead on the banking side because we've been able to build it up from scratch. But yeah, I definitely feel like there's loads we can learn from some really cool players doing amazing stuff in the crypto space. So yeah, we're just trying to make the product as good as we can, as fast as we can.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a mind share going on between traditional and crypto that's much needed right now. So thank you so much for joining us. And we'll hand it over to the next person in our Lightning series. So this person needs little introduction as someone who's making some big moves in the space. And also I get to call my boss. please help me welcome Alex Mashinsky, founder and CEO of Celsius. The floor is yours, Alex.
Thanks, Leah and Charlie. Thanks for having us. Great partnership. We, for those of you who remember, we launched, Litecoin was one of the first coins we launched back in 2018. And I'm happy to report that our community now is over 165,000 users. And we just crossed $30 million in paid interest since 2018. Celsius now has over $1.3 billion in coins. Again, our partnership with Litecoin has been one of the kind of foundational launch partners. So let me share the screen here and show you a little bit of what we're doing. So this is our website where you can basically take a look at our services and also get access to links to download the app. And this is a new site we just launched a few weeks ago, which offers you basically the ability to earn interest. So these are some of the coins that you can earn. We support 32 different coins and tokens. And like we say, you don't need a bank. You can earn 100 times more interest than in your bank. For example, right now on Litecoin, you can earn 6.88%. Celsius was the first one in the world, as far as I know, to offer interest income on your Litecoins. And we're very excited that we still continue to pay the highest rate out there. You just download the app, you deposit your Litecoin, and you earn interest. There's nothing you need to do. You don't need to check on it. We also turn Monday from being the worst day of the week to being the best day of the week, because you get paid interest every Monday morning. So for example, if you have $10,000 worth of Litecoin, or about 203 Litecoins, and you're earning, and you can either earn in kind, in LTC, or in Cell Token, you'll be earning about close to $700 a year at 6.88%. And if you're earning it in Litecoin, you'll be earning just over $500, right? So you can basically deposit and earn. And the second service we provide is the loan service, where you can basically, instead of selling your coins or using them for purchases, you can actually borrow against it. So a great service right now, we're offering 1% annual interest, right? So if you deposit your Litecoin and you take a loan against it, you only pay 1% per year. Try that with your bank. No credit check, no income check. We use your Litecoin as collateral, and by using it as collateral, we extend between 25 and 50% of the value to you. And based on how much you deposit, your interest rate changes based on that. And you can pay the interest, by the way, either in dollars or in Cell Token. This service has been extremely valuable. We have a very big part of the community actually applying for loans all the time, or getting loans all the time. You can close a loan at any time. There's no origination fee. There is no, again, application. There's no termination fee. So Celsius does not charge any fees, unlike almost everybody else in the crypto community. So again, this is a great way that we think we've kind of extended the use case for your Litecoin and enable you to basically hodl even more. And I forgot my hodl shirt. Luckily, Leah got hers on, but I think it's an excellent way to basically, not spend your coins, because I think that's the way you get to retirement, is if you sit on them instead of spending them. So download the app. Again, there are links on everyone on our website. Just go to the bottom, download the app, either for the App Store or Google Play. And it takes a few seconds to onboard. And again, you can earn on your 32 of your favorite coins or tokens. We're also adding many additional services, new things that we're launching every few days. So keep track of what we're doing, and also let us know what else we should be doing to make the service even better.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. quick question. I know that, one of the parallels that I see between Litecoin and Celsius is really an emphasis on community. And I wanted to know your thoughts on going forward as we move towards adoption. What role does community play, and how do you maintain that sense of transparency and closeness as more and more people join this age of digital assets?
Sure. So I think it goes back to also what Stefan was saying before about the gaming community, right? I think the crypto community can learn a lot from the gaming community, which is now, I think, just over 1 billion people worldwide. Crypto is just over 50 million, I think, active wallets. So we have a lot to learn to kind of scale that. And I think Litecoin was one of the first forks to kind of really create a use case, have a great application, and have a very, very loyal community. I spoke at the Litecoin event, I think it was last year, and it's just the passion, the commitment, is comes through and through. And I think now it's just about putting enough applications on the chain, right? And I think crypto kind of got stuck in this hodl mode where everybody was like, oh, I'm just gonna hodl my Bitcoin. And there are many, many other use cases for the different blockchains, and Litecoin as a transactional chain is definitely an opportunity for us to experiment and develop many new use cases like gaming, like payments that have not really taken off. And especially now with the high fees on Ethereum and the speed issues that some of these other chains have, I think Litecoin is an amazing opportunity to kind of leap forward and take advantage of what's going on. Also, what Celsius added with interest income, right, rewards, being able to earn yield on your asset or loans are two use cases that I think now with the DeFi craze, everybody's copying us, but that's fine. It's about who does it best. I mean, I think, like I said, Celsius still pays the highest interest because we combine institutional lending, we lend your coins to institutions, we do dollar loans to retail, and we participate in the DeFi farming as well. So the blended yield that we generate for participants like people who hold Litecoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin is higher than what they can generate themselves. And we're kind of protecting them from some of the scams and the kind of like exit scams and other projects that people may not take the time to vet or decide what they shouldn't be putting their coins to, what is not safe. So a lot of opportunities, and most of this innovation comes from inside the community. So I really hope to see a lot of this kind of like breakthrough ideas and projects coming from some of the developers working on like.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So for our final lightning round, we have a much anticipated guest and industry leader. Please help me welcome CEO and founder of StormX, Simon Wu. Over to you.
Hey, Leah. Yeah, thanks so much for having me here. Thanks, Charlie, and everyone else for hosting us. We're really excited to be partner of Litecoin. We've been building this space since 2014, and Litecoin was just one of the most usable cryptocurrencies just because, as a company that's been building sort of a microtask rewards platform to users, one of the biggest opportunity is that crypto allows borderless transactions to happen by, inducing lower transaction fees. But when we sort of saw Bitcoin and Ethereum with transaction fees starting to increase in like 2016 and 17, Litecoin was definitely one of the best use cases in terms of how we could make this more accessible to users. And when we officially became a partner in 2019, it was a big opportunity for us, and we're excited to be part of this network. So with that said, I do have a presentation as well. Be able to see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've been building a mobile application product called StormX. So originally we started off as a microtask platform where you can earn crypto by trying new games, trying new products and apps, also answering some surveys for essentially, small amounts that could range to anywhere to $250. And recently, in February of this year, we launched a new product called Storm Shop, which was added as part of our application, where users can earn crypto back by shopping online at various different stores, from Nike, eBay, GameStop, and 750 other stores. And so instead of earning fiat, you can earn crypto. And because we are using crypto and also cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, with the lower transaction fees, we're able to have a global product instead of being limited to several countries, the US, for example. So yeah, one of our biggest advantages right now is a global presence. And we can also see that cashback services like ours are becoming pretty popular. The biggest one was a company called Honey that was acquired by PayPal last year for about $4 billion, which sort of set the industry standard here. And another company called Shopback in Singapore, raising 45 million. And I'm sure some of the crypto folks might recognize Lolly. It's another great company for $3 million that they raised recently. One of the most unique advantages that we have as a company is that, we are using blockchain and cryptocurrency to scale faster and lower transaction fees compared to some of the fiat competitors out there. But we also have a rewards platform using our own tokens where you can upgrade your account, sort of like a mileage program, where the higher upgrade that you have, you can earn higher cash back. And so, for example, while most of the competitors will offer 6% on eBay for being a diamond member on our application, you can earn 21%. So it's pretty exciting considering how many different stores are available, and each time you shop, you could be earning higher rewards. And we already have a user base in over 150 countries just because we did have an existing platform out there for about 6 years. And since we launched these products, we've been growing pretty fast. We're actually at over 290,000 unique users now in just a little over 6 months. And part of the reason is also because e-commerce sales activities are significantly up this year compared to the previous year. And you can probably guess why. COVID-19 has kept us all indoors, and most of the retail stores have been closing down, forcing some of these guys to pivot to an e-commerce, whether they like it or not. And because of this, online shopping has accelerated by several years. And when people have to shop, and we're offering a free way for users to earn some of that back in the form of cashback in crypto, it's a very appealing product. That's one of the reasons why users have been loving it and have been, we've been growing as a company pretty quickly. So right now we've paid out over $2.5 million in crypto rewards. It's been pretty significant. We also added Litecoin late last year too, and that number has been growing significantly as well. The product itself is pretty easy to use. And one of the things that we always focus as a company is how easy non-crypto people can use the application. Especially with all the DeFi and all the stuff that's been going on recently, you try to explain yield farming and all the other stuff to anyone that's not involved in crypto, and they'll be confused, right? And it's tailoring to such a small audience base. And yes, the money or TVL might be an attractive opportunity. There's a lot of money flowing in, but it's still such a small percent of what you can actually capture and the value that you can actually deliver to users across the world. So for us, we try to imagine ourselves as not being a crypto company. So all you have to do is install and you shop. You pick a store that you normally would shop from. There's Nike, eBay, and all these other stores. And once you make a purchase, you earn your cash back, and you can redeem for Litecoin or Bitcoin or Ethereum or some of the other cryptocurrencies that we support. And so instead of targeting a small niche market in a crypto community, we're trying to target the 3 billion people around the world. And because the global cashback industry is a $10 million market, it's a pretty big opportunity for us, and it's a pretty exciting opportunity. So these are some of the brands that we feature. depending on some of the countries, you'll see different stores, but we have some of the biggest stores like Adidas, American Eagle, GameStop, eBay, Lenovo. We actually just recently added Alibaba, and in the US, we also just added Kroger today, which is the parent company that owns Fred Meyer's and QFC. So anything from groceries to shoes to technology to software to hardware, we've got it all, and you can earn crypto back. And again, just one of the reasons why we're so excited to be partners with Litecoin is the fact that Litecoin has a great way to spend now with the prepaid cards. But we also create another way that users that are not so familiar with crypto to earn some Litecoin, and then they can spend it with the partner platforms as well, creating a full cycle. And we feel pretty excited to be a part of that network as well. So yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Simon. And I will definitely be using StormX to justify my online shopping habit going forward. I would love to just ask you a quick question. Why do you think it's so important to have blockchain and the transparency it provides as part of these, cashback, programs and apps that we've recently seen coming out?
Yeah, rather than the transparency part, I think the most important part is that the transactions are valid. I think in our industry, one of the biggest things that we always see in the ad tech is fraud. So you end up seeing, like bots and transactions where it's hard to verify what is actually legitimate, but because the transactions we can be verified through the public blockchain, it's a little bit harder to game that system. With that said, though, it's not impossible. It is still possible to do so, but because there is a cost associated with it, it does become a little bit harder.
Well, do you think that all of these types of programs will move to blockchain going forward, or do you think that it will still segment into blockchain-based apps and otherwise?
Yeah, I think the partners that are unicorns right now with just fiat are in for a surprise as to how fast we've been growing, just because one, the low transaction fee and global presence has really helped us grow exponentially. And outside of the blockchain use case, I think from a fee perspective, it's the most appealing. So that's probably the given. And then also with sort of how our token economics works, the most loyal users and the ones that shop the most can upgrade their account relatively quickly, and getting a higher cash back than some of our other competitors, where essentially some of our competitors will have to use VC capital to constantly burn a lot of their funds to try to offer some higher cash back. But in our case, we don't have to because of sort of how we integrated our product with the crypto model.
Yeah, incentive alignment is the name of the game. Thank you so much for joining us. And that concludes our second installment of Lightning series. And I am so grateful to have moderated. I think that we're going to take some questions from the audience now. Is that correct, Jay?
We can, yes.
Okay, happy to. Let's pull some up. Jay, would you like to choose some to direct, or do we have some in the pipe?
There was one question for about Celsius, asking if deposits are insured.
Alex, over to you.
Sure, yes. So I know a lot of providers or pay interest basically tell you we have insurance. Celsius also has insurance. The problem is that when you lend out, most of the time we just lend out coins to institutions. So when the coins are traveling or when they're with the institution, they're not insured. The insurance that everybody's talking about is what's called either hot wallet or cold wallet insurance. And that applies only when it's sitting in your custody. So, or with the custodian, right? So if it's sitting with BitGo, if it's sitting with Coinbase, you may have insurance, but then the coins are not earning yield, right? So you have to understand that there's a balance between having insurance and being paid a very low yield, or basically being deployed all the time, earning high yield, but not being insured. So there's no option out there today of insuring coins that are sitting with institutions or being lent out, for example, on DeFi. And there are things that are in the works, but nothing that I know that paid out ever. So we have we use Fireblocks, for example. Fireblocks covers $20 million worth of insurance on when you're depositing it with us, when we are holding it, and when we're sending it to the institution, or when the institution sends us back. But during the period that it sits with the institution, neither us or anyone else is offering you any insurance.
I had a question for in regards to Revolut, actually, Ed. So I know you mentioned stable coins. I would love to get your thoughts on what bridge you think they represent for traditional and crypto in terms of adoption or bringing in more traditional financial institutions.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the reason they're super interesting right now is obviously if you get, a USD stablecoin, the amount that you can earn on it is actually much higher than you can earn in like a USD spending account. The reason for that is obviously there are some inefficiencies in the system, like lack of liquidity, and there are reasons for that. So I think like that early use case is that, which is great. It's a great way to earn much higher interest rates. But I think as the space progresses, you've got a lot of interesting players, releasing a lot of interesting stable coins. And obviously, Facebook, they've got a huge amount of, muscle there, and they're trying to push their stablecoin forward. So I think like in the end, it will just get people more interested in crypto in general, right? So if they're using something they're a little bit more familiar with, it's kind of USDC, and then it's kind of like the gateway drug to maybe more interesting cryptocurrencies and like features of crypto. So yeah, at the moment, it's cool that you can earn higher coins, but I think moving forward, yeah, it'll be a good on-ramp to get other people into crypto who are not necessarily into it right now.
Do you believe that by country, each will have a stable coin, or that there will be, like regional powers that overtake and are first mover and have first mover advantage in terms of dominating the stable market?
I mean, you're definitely seeing a lot of, governments, countries, central banks now getting interested in stablecoins. I think it's going to be really difficult to see how that plays out. I think when you've got competing stablecoins for one currency, then in the end, it will be the most reputable player or the most well-established player who wins. But apart from that, it's actually really difficult to predict.
Yep. No worries. Just giving your thoughts. So
if I can jump in just to add a comment on this as well. So the way we see it is that basically there's like a 3-horse race between government mandated digital currencies. So for example, China and the United States, and now we hear the ECB, the European Union, is also working on a government-backed stable coin. You have the Libras, or the corporate version of that. So there's several companies that are trying to go for that as well. And then you have the crypto community version, right? So we have obviously Tether, which is today, I think $13 billion, or 90% of the tokenization is in one company that is conducting on a daily average $25 billion worth of stablecoin volume, or several $1 trillion a year worth of volume, 10 times the velocity of a regular dollar. So a Tether moves around 10 times more than an average dollar. And so we are like the first horse out of the barn. We're ahead of the race, but it doesn't mean we're going to win the race. So it's all about which applications you can provide that are going to make people tokenize with you versus the corporate version or the government version. And interest income, again, Celsius pays today 11.5% on Tether or USDC or some of the other coins. Interest income is the killer app, because the banks and the central banks have taken those rates to almost zero, some cases negative rates. And here is just the normal, you just convert your dollars into, or your euros to something that is a token, and you're suddenly earning 100 or 200 times more than your bank pays you. So that is the killer app to move fiat from the fiat world to the crypto world. And we're seeing just this Cambrian explosion of innovation with everybody launching their own token, stable token, to get a piece of that action. And so it's great for the crypto community, but I can tell you the regulators are, putting their glasses on and looking at it very, very carefully to see if they want to intervene or stop or slow us down as this thing just scales very, very rapidly.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alex, and Ed as well. So I have two questions actually towards Charlie. We're getting a lot of questions for an update on Mimblewimble, as well as what's going on with the 1031 bank partnership. So Charlie?
Sure. So, I mean, we're still currently working on Mimblewimble. We're targeting end of this month actually to launch the testnet, and that's still on target. So I'll have more information, and David Brecker will have more information at the end of this month about how the testnet is going. What's the second question?
The 1031 bank partnership. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly. I'm reading it.
1031 bank partnership?
David, do you want to?
Sure.
Yeah, it's the formerly Veg Bank.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's not much news on that front. Yeah, David, do you have anything on that front?
Yeah, so the partnership will we'll still have a partnership with them. It may be a little bit more limited, but that's not going away. But as far as any specific details of anything going on at this point, no, not so much.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I will hand it over to you, David. I know that you have an announcement and some things to cover before we wrap up.
Yeah, we just have a few, just one small thing going on that is exciting. As most people know, we ended up having a partnership with Atari back a few months ago. And one of the things that we were excited to do was create something to sort of commemorate that between Atari and the Litecoin Foundation. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a screen here of what two of our foundation volunteers have done. One of those being on the call here today, that's Craig Thornton. And then the other one was Peter Weisbrot. He does some designing as well for us. And this is the Litecoin t-shirt. Can you guys see that? Yeah, so this is a t-shirt that has a young Charlie or a young chicken playing Atari, the game being Breakout, which is one of the popular games during the time frame of whenever Charlie was actually a child. So as some people know, Charlie was motivated to get into programming and coding based off of gaming. And so we just thought this was kind of a cool way to commemorate that partnership between Atari and the foundation. And as most people also know, sometime here very soon, you'll be able to get a pre-sale order of the Atari VCS, which is a gaming console to compete with some of the other ones that are out there. But the unique part about it is people that create games can actually upload them onto the VCS for others globally to play. So if you're someone who likes to design games and see other people enjoy them, you should be able to do that on the Atari VCS game. And if you buy it with Litecoin, they're going to have a special bundle put together for those people who do exactly that. So that's now available on the Litecoin Foundation shop. So you can buy the t-shirt. Obviously, any profits that are made go towards helping to fund the foundation and the efforts that we do in bringing Litecoin to the world as an adoption coin that people are able to use for currency. So just wanted to put that out there.
Awesome,
And
David.
that's exactly what I looked like when I was a kid.
That colic to the one side and red hair.
Splitting image of me as a kid.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'll trade you a HODL shirt for that one. We'll just swap.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
There
Thank
we
you
go.
guys so much. I know I speak for the entire industry when I say we really appreciate everything you, Charlie, and the foundation do for crypto adoption and moving the industry forward in the right direction. Great series. Really looking forward to the future of this series and also Litecoin.
Yeah, and also thank you for emceeing today as well, Leah. You did a
You're
great
welcome.
job.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, Leah, if this Celsius thing doesn't work out, we definitely have a
Yeah,
side
I'll just start emceeing all the conferences.
Exactly. So,
As long as they're as good as this one and not, the random ones we had in 2017, I'm game.
No, we'll bring you on again sometime to do it again. You did a great job.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks to everybody who came and participated on the panel as well.
Yep.
And Lisa as well from Hub. She's been helping us put these together. So special thank you for her as well. All right, I believe that's it for today. And thank you all for joining us. And look forward to the one in October as well, when we have probably another one to announce some more special things. Have a good day.
Thanks, guys.